Welcome to another edition of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut, and I am your host, Jody Coleman, in the building. We joined by my man, Michael, the People's Champ Perry. Man, how you doing, my guy?
You already see Gotham calls, so I'm here.
I don't know if Gotham called. I'm not sure of that because you saying that Gotham calling, but the city of Boston is hoping and praying. They're hoping and praying in Boston that Jason Tatum, who is your Robin, if they hoping he gets back so they can actually win the championship because they don't think they can do it without him. But I like it though. He's playing. Hey, I will say he's playing fantastic basketball right now. We got Glenn all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Man, how you doing, my guy?
Feeling great, man. How y'all doing today, man?
So you see, Gotham is calling, right?
Man, we're doing very well. The weather it's crazy because the weather is still cold as hell, and we trying to get these streets. Like I said, they did a very good job in Trotwood area. Mike, how did they do out in your area on these streets?
Well, downtown is still a mess. They shoveled all the snow into the middle of the street, so now they are getting all these big mounds of snow out of the middle of the street. So on St. Clair, my street, all the way up and down the street are these big mounds of snow. So I think we're about a whole day away now out here in Centerville at the Palatial Estates,
Hey,
salted roads.
How far are y'all?
Salted roads. It's all good out here, baby.
How far are y'all from Cleveland? How far are y'all?
3 hours.
Okay, I was watching the beginning of that Cavs game, and they were saying it's 0 degrees there.
Well, 3-4 hours.
Yeah, it's only 7 degrees here.
Oh no, that's universal in Ohio. It is definitely cold. Yeah, it's cold in the motherfucker here. But yeah, man, we got some great stuff going on today, fellas. The Cleveland Browns have signed their new head coach, getting former Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator Todd Monken. We're going to talk about the NBA, our game of the night. Of course, Cleveland right now is a homecoming for LeBron James playing the Los Angeles Lakers right now. A lot of Cleveland people said they will be open to bringing LeBron back. I don't know. They must be a gluttony for punishment. At what point do you remove the umbilical cord? You got to cut that motherfucker and understand that LeBron James won a championship, but you got to move on and try to see if you can win one with Donovan Mitchell, man. Also, man, we got some college basketball, of course, and then we got some college football I want to talk about if we could. Is that okay? We talk a little college football?
Always.
Is that okay, so?
Always, brother.
Just want, and we can't forget about the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 60 is set. We got the Seattle Seahawks going against the New England Patriots. Sam Darnold versus Drake May. McDonald versus this. These are both very. I think McDonald is the second-year head coach for Seattle, and we know about Vrabel is the first-year head coach with the New England Patriots. So we're going to get some new blood. It's kind of refreshing to have some new blood that's going to actually win the Super Bowl, whether it be quarterback or coach. We was getting kind of stale with the Eagles and the Chiefs winning every year, man. But so, man, how you feeling, my guy?
I'm feeling good, man. Getting closer and closer to the weekend. Like you said, the weather here is changing here too, Jody. We got up to 60 today, so yeah, nice for the weather to get a little bit better. But it's supposed to dip back down to the teens again this weekend. So we're up and down with our weather this time of year. Sometimes you never know around here. You've been wearing shorts one day, the next day you got to wear a bomber jacket because the weather changes like overnight. It seems like sometimes.
So are you saying that R. Kelly would be very intrigued to be in y'all area at night? Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah, he would love it here. He would probably walk outside naked.
R. Kelly would be like, bet. He'd be like, bet. But no, but yeah, man, let's get right into it, man. Let's get right into what we came here to do, and let's talk about the Cleveland Browns. The Browns were able to finally get a head coach in Cleveland. Um, so on sports, man, Todd Monken, the former offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, has taken over for the Cleveland Browns as a head coach. He was there as a OC back in 2019 before he took the Georgia job and took the 2 years with the Baltimore Ravens. What do you think that does for Cleveland finally getting the quarterback out the way? I mean, coach out the way.
He's never been a head coach. Am I right, Jody? I don't think he's ever been a head coach. He's been a coordinator, bouncing around. I don't know. It really pissed off that your defensive coordinator. He thought he was getting that head coaching job. Apparently, he left the facility. He said, "I'm out. I don't want no part of this." I know he's still on the contract. I don't know if they promised him the job or he just assumed he was going to get the position. But he's not happy about this other guy coming there and taking his spot. So I don't know. I don't know much about Todd Monken. He's been offensive coordinator for years with the Baltimore Ravens. So we'll see if he can get it done as a head coach. What do you think about the hire yourself? You're a Cleveland guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get to that in just a moment. Real quick, King Ming said here in Memphis is bad with the snow and icy.
Is he froze?
Echo, is that me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
Hold on.
Because it's the Browns being the clowns as per
Go ahead.
usual. So, you got a situation here where they just fired a coach to hire a coach with no head coaching experience.
Real quick, so I'm back now, I think. So we got King Minks in the building. He said, hold on, let me go all the way. But we got a lot of comments today. Donald said he'll be here very shortly. King Minks said, my guys was good since day one. Richard Norvell said was good. Good evening, fellas. King Ming said Mike, aka Mr. Seven Schultz, cool. Jody, aka Mr. Steal Your Girl, White Solo, the coach of the year. Hey, that's crazy work. Eagles Philly said good evening, good brothers. He said good evening, good brothers. Keep doing your thing. Stay safe and stay blessed. Why did Cleveland Brown do Jimmy Schwartz like that? Y'all should have just gave him the head coaching job. King Ming said Eagles Philly, what it do? What's going on, good brothers? Keep doing your thing. Stay blessed and stay safe. He said the Seattle Seahawks getting ready to put a belt to ass against New England Patriots Seattle by at least 2 touchdowns. King Ming said here in Memphis is bad in the snow. He said Todd must put the best essay in for the job. And and then Richard Norvell said don't underestimate the Patriots. So Solo Sports, man.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry about that. I had little technical difficulties, but we're back right here. Todd Monken did. What else do you think is a situation? They didn't give Jimmy Schwartz the job.
Yeah.
But he's not going to stay on as the defensive coordinator. Now Cleveland has to really clean house and get a new OC, new DC, and a special team coach. I think we had the worst special teams in the NFL, man. But I think it's what do you grade Cleveland's hiring of Todd Monken? What grade do you give Cleveland?
I had him getting no job as a head coach. I thought he was going to be an offensive coordinator somewhere. I didn't think he'd get a head coaching job. I would say a C, but I could be wrong. It depends on who he gets as defensive coordinator, who they're going to bring in there. What's the strength of the team last year was your defense. We all know that. So it's very interesting. But maybe they feel that they need to clean house completely. But I don't think anybody really had this guy as a head coach. But maybe Cleveland is going to get lucky with this guy, and he turned out to be a decent head coach at Cleveland. I don't know.
But he did have one of the best offenses in football for a couple of years with the Baltimore Ravens, and that's what Cleveland needs, only putting up about 13.5 points per game. You got it. If that Cleveland defense could get a team that could score about 22 points a game, we would definitely be a playoff contender. Michael, the people said, what do you think about Todd Monken being hired as a head coach for the Cleveland Browns?
I think this is no knock on him as a coach, but this is an F. This is an F hire. This guy has no experience. Cleveland kicks the tires constantly on bad. The worst thing that they do besides quarterbacks in Cleveland is coaches. And this is why we are where we are. It's no good here, man. You got a guy who you say had a great offense with the Ravens, and you don't have a Lamar Jackson on your roster anywhere, nowhere. So whatever offense he runs, he's either got to go get another quarterback, or he's going to have to show a different style of play that we don't know if he can call that kind of scheme. We don't know what that's like. No one knows what that's going to be like. So I think you had a guy in-house, already a connection with the team. He's already got the defense playing at the level that could be a playoff potential. You got some holes in the conference this year, so you might have been better positioned to make a serious move, by retaining the defensive coordinator, putting him in charge, letting him bring Monken in as the offensive coordinator, and then maybe going that way if you think that highly of him as an offensive coordinator. Or he could have brought in somebody else that he trusts to be the offensive coordinator to take care of that side of the ball and get this thing running. Because I guarantee it's going to be some fallout in that locker room with this hire.
Now, what I will say is Monken has been with the Browns just about 5 or 6 years ago. Like I said, he was there as an offensive coordinator back in 2019 when we were actually scoring points. That's when the offense probably was at its best when Monken was there in Cleveland. Now, I understand what you're saying, that they should have went with Jimmy Schwartz. That's who I wanted as the head coach. But I don't think this is a F hire with Monken's. And the reason why I say that is because, I mean, Joe Brady, he's never coached before. He gets a head coaching job and everybody loves it. But then Todd Monken, who has had success with the Baltimore Ravens, we're saying we don't love it. I think Cleveland, I think they needed a offensive-minded head coach. I don't think a defensive-minded head coach was going to do anything for Cleveland. We know that we got Myles Garrett. A lot of times, not saying Schwartz wasn't an amazing defensive coordinator, but at some point you got to put points on the board. We say that all the time. You can have, so you said, we both agree, you can have great edge rushers, but if you can't score no points, who gives a fuck? Because you can't sack the quarterback on every play. So I think that bringing him in and seeing what he can do with Shedeur Sanders can get some stability. I don't know. I'm not going to go ahead and say it's an A. I'm not going to say it's an F. Right now, I'm going to give it a C+ because, you know, he does have tied to the Baltimore Ravens. They did have some success over there. They did know how he does know how to win. Let's go ahead and say that. He does know how to win. So that's either it's a C+ or it's an incomplete, because we're not going to know. But there's a lot of coaches around the league that this is their first head coaching job. Look at the kid McDonald over with the Seattle Seahawks. This was his first head coaching job. And where did he come from? So the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, but Jody, my thing is that he get this job because no one else wanted it. Because it seemed like a lot of coaches that are up for this job, they pulled themselves out of the running for some reason. I don't know why. Did they assume that they weren't going to get it? Was this the guy they wanted the whole time? They were just interviewing these other guys. Do you know more than what we know? Because I'm trying to figure out how this guy came out of nowhere and just got the head coaching job.
No, but he was the first person that they interviewed.
Okay.
He was the first person they interviewed. The guys that pulled out their name, I didn't want those guys. I didn't want Mike McDaniels as my head coach. Let's keep it all real. I didn't want him the Cleveland Brown head coach. I think, of course, Jesse Mentor took a better job in Baltimore. Why are we getting upset because Jesse Mentor took a better job? Come on, Baltimore job with Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, is more intriguing than coming to Cleveland. So those are the only two coaches that really withdrew their name from the job. The guy from Jacksonville, what the fuck have you done? So, Mike, go ahead.
But it's Cleveland. And it was the Wonderlic test that they wanted to give and the essay that they wanted motherfuckers to write. Like, what are we doing here? We are selecting a ball coach, not a 10th grade English teacher. And so I think that I think it's the system is fucked, and that this will pan out to be what it is in Cleveland. And it's not fair to Cleveland fans, man. At some point, it can't just be a C. You can't keep going to the club and then you just always just get the same. You don't even try to get yourself a dime. You just, man, fuck it. Give me a couple of drinks. I'll just go ahead and give me them 4s and 5s and I'll make that work. At some point, you at least got to try. You'd be surprised what you can do if you shoot for the moon.
Mike, you put 2 5s together, you got yourself a 10, Mike. 2 5s together, you got yourself a 10, baby.
Well, you got a double nickel is what you got.
Hold on, but Mike, so what you're saying is there was no home run picks at the coaching position outside of Harbaugh and outside of Sean McDermott. And if Mike Tomlin wasn't going to coach, I mean, those other guys, I didn't really want these. Mike McDaniels failed in Miami. Why the fuck would I want him to come over to Cleveland when he don't win games under 32 degrees? Well, Jesse Minter, he took a better job in Baltimore. Mike McCarthy took a better job organizational-wise in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The Cleveland job was exactly where it was at. I think they got a coach on their level. Like I said, we talk about McDonald, the coach for the Seattle Seahawks. He was the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. And 2 years later, he's in the Super Bowl. Mike, talk to me.
So, and this is what I always give this PSA throughout the year about 6 or 7 times a year. Ladies, if you guys are looking for a man of high quality that's going to be loyal, Jody Coleman is your guy. Because where I come from and people that I've seen, not necessarily me, I want to throw this out there, not necessarily the people's champ, but dude, if your house ain't right, you don't give up your main chick until you have secured something better on the side. You don't just leave home and then just be out here willy-nilly and then go get you the same thing that you just had. You know, you can hold the fort down and give yourself an opportunity to secure the bag before you make a move instead of making a lateral move.
But can we agree that Monken, anything was better than Kevin Stefanski at this point? 8 wins in 2 years?
Well, Jody, you know what I think Cleveland's problem is? I told you this already. You probably agree with me. I think it's the ownership.
Yeah.
I don't trust the owners to make smart decisions. I think that's the real problem. I think the GM's a decent GM, but I think the owner meddles too much. He's not gonna let y'all succeed because of his stupid decisions. I remember years ago, the Redskins had Daniel Snyder was the owner. They brought in Jim Zorn. Remember Jim Zorn, the old Seattle quarterback? They brought him in to interview him for the offensive coordinator job, quarterback coach or something. They interviewed him, got down the interview, and Daniel Snyder goes, "Hey, you just want to be the head coach?" Yeah. I'm not going to turn it down. And he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He had no business getting that job. I'm not saying that Todd Monken is going to be on that level. I'm just saying I just don't trust the ownership to put the pieces together and to make the right decision. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is Todd Monken is no different than Jesse Minter, who never coached in the NFL. He's no different than Joe Brady, who never coached in the NFL. What is the difference? McDonald didn't coach in the NFL.
It's the organizations.
I get that. But what I'm saying is we can't sit up here and say this is a bad hire when we got several coaches. Aaron Glenn never coached in the NFL. Ben Johnson never coached in the NFL. And Ben Johnson and Todd Monken's got the same resume, both going to the NFC and AFC championship game. So I'm really confused when we say this is a bad hire according to coaches around the league. It's a lot of guys that this was their first head coaching job. Let's keep it all the way funky. Zach Taylor, that was his first head coaching job with the Bengals. He wasn't even offensive coordinator. He was a quarterback's coach. Jim Harbaugh, when he got his job, Jim Harbaugh was a special teams coach. We're going around the league. You just got to hope and pray that this guy can pan out because most coordinators, this is their first opportunity. And like I said, if Sean McDermott was not available, Mike Tomlin was not available, those are the only 2 other guys. And John Harbaugh, those 3 guys were the only 2, and only 1 took the head coach's job. We wasn't going to get Kevin Stefanski. You think he got 8 wins in 2 years? Real quick.
Kevin Stefanski had a job within 48 hours.
Yeah, he did. Because it wasn't a lot of quality candidates. When you got a guy that had 8 wins in 2 seasons, go get a fucking job.
But Joe,
that's telling you that it's not a lot of good quality products up there.
Is it always on the coach if they don't succeed? You know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you put these coaches in bad situations. Like Aaron Glenn, I hate to say it. He more than likely he's not going to see the end of that contract. He might draw that money, but he'll be sitting home when he gets it. He probably won't be on the sideline. It's just when you get these bad organizations, Raiders, Arizona Cardinals, and they got bad ownership, and things just don't go well.
Well, okay. So what about Kellen Moore down with the New Orleans Saints? This was the first time he ever coached. He got them rolling pretty well. Raheem Morris had back-to-back 8-win seasons, but that wasn't his first year as a head coach. But it's some guys that when they finally got an opportunity to coach, they did well. I don't understand. We got to see what this guy can do.
I agree. I'm not saying he can't coach. I'm just saying, are they going to let him do his thing?
This is the problem. Cleveland never does this. Never. This is what they're not capable of doing. When Dallas has had new coaches, inexperienced coaches, great coaches, but they don't just keep hiring the same. Mike McCarthy, a Super Bowl winning coach. Bill Parcells, a Super Bowl winning coach. They tried some guys like Jason Garrett. They tried a special teams guy long time ago. Can't remember his name. They went and got Barry Switzer after Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson was a college coach, won a national championship. But Cleveland never makes a splash hire. And at some point in time, if you want to change the culture, if you want to change the trajectory of your organization, you have got to get into the splash territory.
I'm going to say this, and we're going to go on to our next time. First of all, Richard Novell said, what does the Browns salary cap look like? We don't have a lot of money to spend. King Ming said they should hire Jim Caldwell. How you doing, Teresa? Hope you staying warm.
Well, I heard that name a long time.
Frigid streets. But this is the thing that Mike is, I see what he's saying about a splash hire. But I'm going to ask you so until Mike get back. Was Zach Taylor a splash hire for the Bengals when they got him?
He was the hot coordinator at the time.
No, he wasn't a coordinator. He was a quarterback coach.
Well, he was one of the hot coaching candidates, is what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying. So what is the difference between Todd Monken, who had Lamar Jackson, he coached the MVP, he had a very hot offense. We can't take that away from him. We can't say, well, Todd Monken's had Lamar Jackson. He has to be a person that gets credit for this, but we're going to say that's not a good hire because he's in Cleveland. So it don't matter who Cleveland would have brought in. We would have said it wasn't a good hire if it wasn't Harbaugh, if it wasn't McDermott, if it wasn't Mike Tomlin. Because all the other guys that Cleveland would have hired, it would have been a first-year hire. So what are we talking about?
That's my point exactly. Y'all could have stuck with the same dude, had the same record, got some more draft picks until you could secure a baddie. You can't keep getting these subpar BBWs. You got to go out there and get you a baddie to come in and change the direction. If you were Seattle or if you were San Francisco or whatnot, like when Cincinnati, at one time they had Marvin, what's his name?
Marvin Lewis.
Marvin Lewis. He was the defensive coordinator of the Super Bowl champion.
So what's the difference with having Todd Monken, who just had one of the best offenses?
He didn't win.
And he was just
he has
in the
no
AFC
Super Bowl
game 2 years ago.
He
What's
has
the
no
difference?
Super Bowl. He has no recognizable historic coaching achievement other than being a good coach.
So, Mike, let me ask you this. And I'm going to ask you so if the Cleveland Browns get Sean McDermott, what would have been the difference? He ain't been to the Super Bowl. What would have been the difference if Cleveland would have got Sean McDermott?
Sean McDermott in the coaching world is respected, highly regarded in the coaching circle as a guy who took Buffalo out of the doldrums, advanced them as far as they could go, couldn't get over the hump there, but he's a splash hire for Cleveland. He's got a winning record. He runs a good program. He's thought of as an intelligent football mind. I'm not saying that this dude is a bad coach. I want you to be clear on what I'm saying. At some point in time, Cleveland has to do better than just mediocre and keep expecting that they're going to hit the jackpot in the coaching circle when, goddamn it, stay with one of these dudes until you can get
there. But we don't know. We can't sit around hoping that a coach quit. So do you think if Cleveland would have got Sean McDermott, would that have been a splash hire?
Oh, yeah, that definitely be a splash hire.
What did he do different? What has he done different?
He's done some winning in the league. That's what, and he's a big name. That is a splash hire. So Jolie, you know what we mean when we say splash hire.
I get that, but so how are we going to say a guy with the resume?
We're not saying that We're not saying monkeys won't be successful. That's not what we're saying.
What are we saying then?
This is Mike's point. Mike's saying that they should think big and go get a big name coach. Not that Mike, this dude Monken might end up being a good coach. He's just saying he's not a sexy name.
So
that's what Mike's saying. Am I right, Mike?
I'm gonna go back with you, so I'm gonna go back and ask you. When they got McDonald in Seattle, was that a sexy hire when he had never coached a game before? He was never, and now he's in the Super Bowl. So what are we talking about?
He was the hot coordinator.
No, he wasn't.
Jody.
McDonald wasn't the hot
coordinator. He interviewed with 4 or 5 teams before he got that job. Everybody was interviewing that guy.
Where did he come from?
I knew he's from Baltimore.
Was he the defensive coordinator? Who was the offensive coordinator?
Okay, what's your point?
Oh my God!
Look, I hope he works out. I hope he does. For your sake, I want him to win 12 games next year. I'm just saying he's not a name that people were talking about. That's all we're saying.
I
get he can't coach.
So I get what you're saying, but y'all logic is not logicking because when you say we said that Baltimore's defense
in Dayton Public it is.
Hey, listen, man, that's a word. We talk Baltimore's defense has been on a decline. Their defense has been the Achilles heel. He gets a job. What was keeping them in games? Their offense, Mike. And who is the offensive coordinator? Todd Monken.
Here, man, I can just tell you, look, all men are not created equal. Some dudes are 5'7", some dudes are 7'5". And the dude that's 5'7" likely is not going to tomahawk windmill dunk. It's just the way that it is. Doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean he might not can shoot the lights out. But he's not the same as a 7'5" guy. It's just the way that it is. And unfortunately, Cleveland is not Seattle. Seattle is not viewed as a franchise that needs to change its whole trajectory. Jody, we're trying to get you guys to at least a Super Bowl appearance, not a playoff appearance that you like to brag about continuously because we went to the playoffs. No, it's about, and we're trying to change the trajectory. That's all we're trying to do. We're putting our heart into getting you a good coach.
Listen, take Cleveland out of the equation. Y'all are not making sense when y'all come into these hot hires. You're going to tell me the Jacksonville offensive coordinator is more decorated than Todd Monken. Is that what you're saying?
What offensive coordinator? The guy that they made a head coach?
Jacksonville's offensive coordinator, his name is Drew Drain or whatever his name is. He withdrew his name and he went back to Jacksonville.
I don't even know who the fuck that is. So no, I'm not saying he's a hot name.
But everybody keeps saying all these coordinators are taking their name out of the hat for Cleveland. Todd Monken never took his name out of the hat. He has had more success as an offensive coordinator than that guy.
Yeah,
I'm
with you.
Mike McDaniels failed in Miami. Kevin Stefanski failed in Cleveland. So it's like all these other guys, we're saying this is an A+ hire, but then Cleveland gets an offensive coordinator who has one of the best offenses in the last 3 years that he's been the offensive coordinator, and he's not a hot candidate.
I hope he knows that Shador and Lamar Jackson are the same color, but they are not the same quarterback. I hope he's not designing some run plays for Shador. I hope he knows he's not the same quarterback.
If this dude had went to Washington as a head coach or OC, you wouldn't hear me saying one single thing because his system that you're harping on, this wonderful system that he coaches that hasn't gotten to no fucking Super Bowl, but it's a wonderful system. In Washington,
neither has Sean McDermott, but go ahead.
In Washington, it might work because he's got a similar piece to try to play with. They have brought in a wishbone offensive coordinator to coach a run and shoot. A run and shoot quarterback, and this is a good hire.
So, Mike, so you basically telling me that just because you had Lamar Jackson and you are smart enough to mold your offense around him, you don't think he can mold his offense around another quarterback? Come on, stop.
Coaches typically have systems. People that they talk about this all the time, the Shanahan tree. And the Shanahan tree is an extension of Bill Walsh and that family and this family. This dude's got a running quarterback resume, and he's not going to a place where he has a running quarterback. Could he do something different? He possibly could, but I don't know that. I'm not going to get a dude that fixes Yugos to work on a Mercedes.
But this is where you wrong, Mike. Ben Johnson had Jared Goff, a play action quarterback. He takes Caleb Williams, who is like Patrick Mahomes or Brett Favre that throws the ball that doesn't really need play action, and he turned him into a quarterback that was a couple plays away from going to the NFC Championship game. So Ben Johnson, hold on. So Ben Johnson's smart enough to change his game for a quarterback that needs play action, but Todd Monken, he's not smart enough to change his game to fit Shedeur Sanders, who, let me go ahead and make mention, he is not sold on Shedeur Sanders. He's not sold on him.
Of which means that, which goes right to my point. Then you got to get another quarterback.
I didn't say he's going to replace him. He didn't say that. I'm just saying that he's going to make Shedeur work for everything. He's not just going to give him the starting job, which I'm okay with.
Who said he not sold on him? The head coach?
The head coach. The people around the hire was saying that he's not sold on Shedeur, but as long as he gives him an opportunity to get the starting job and let him earn it, I don't have no problem with competition. I don't have no problem with that.
If he's expecting Shedeur Sanders to run the same offense that Lamar Jackson did in Baltimore, then you are hustling backwards. And what you said was Johnson coached Goff, and then he actually went to a better thrower of the ball than Goff, and was able to implement the same identical offense in Chicago that they did. He just got a little bit different results from a different way because the guy's an excellent thrower of the ball. Plus, they went out and got him more weapons, and that worked for them. You are telling me that the wishbone is going to work in Cleveland.
I got a question. Who else is on the roster that can throw the ball that if he was under a different offense, he would have been the same? Deshaun Watson, if he had an offense that was catered like Lamar Jackson, he would have been more successful than the offense that he went into with Kevin Stefanski. Guess who's still on the roster? Guess who's still under contract? Guess who ain't number 30 years old? So if you give him an opportunity, at least compete for the starting job.
Get rid of that nigga, Joe.
We can't say the dude can't play when he gets.
I'm not saying he can't, man. There's too much bad blood. There's too much going on.
But he's under contract and he's guaranteed, so you can't just cut him because it's a lot of dead money. So if he on the roster, let him compete for the starting job. If Todd Monken feel like he can put him in a better situation than any other, because you got to think, how successful was he in Houston? He was extremely successful. He get to Cleveland, they got him bottled up. They got him bottled up in some bullshit offense that didn't fit his skill set. So if Todd Monken has a better skill set with a quarterback that is mobile, we don't know how mobile he is, but if he's healthy enough, we got to find out. But all I'm saying is, guys, you keep saying that Cleveland, this is a bad hire, but if you go across the league of successful coaches, this was their first fucking time as a coach, and they had some success, even with bad organizations. We would agree that the Saints is a bad organization, and look what Kellen Moore is doing in New Orleans. He's going to be a good team going into next year.
Okay.
Or the Saints are bad. What makes the Saints a bad organization?
They fucking suck outside of the Super Bowl. Outside of getting Drew Brees, they sucked. The best thing they ever did was fucking get Drew Brees, and they wasn't even supposed to get Drew Brees. He was supposed to go to the Miami Dolphins. But real quick, King Minks, let me read these comments. King Minks said, I'm with Jody on this one. Donald said, when they go to their cousin's house to get a barbecue, they are 0-17, but the real ones are Super Bowl champions. King Minks said McDonald was a hot hire. Jody, plenty of teams wanted him. I get that. But he was a defensive coordinator on the Ravens, and what carried that team? The offense, because the defense was slacking. But I digress. Same fucking team. Donald said, I think the Ravens play calling always turned into Pee Wee football playbook when they get to the playoffs. But they got to the playoffs. And then Donald said, my dude that loves the Ravens was happy as hell about the Browns hiring him. And then Tree said, I'm just listening. But I get what y'all saying. I'm not disagreeing with what y'all saying, but I just want to make the shit make sense the way y'all saying it. Because the way y'all saying it, it's like he has no chance But if you go around the league, everybody got. I mean, if you got to think at least 20 jobs where guys getting their first opportunity to be the head coach. Cal Shanahan had never coached. He was never a head coach until he went to the 49ers. Am I right?
I'm not saying. Me and Mike are saying two different things.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I don't trust the owner to make the right decision and let the coaches coach. That's my issue with Cleveland. I think any coach will struggle there because the owner meddles too fucking much.
So if you're saying it that way, it didn't matter who we was gonna hire. You're basically saying whoever we hired was gonna be a dud because of the ownership.
And see me, I don't necessarily feel that. I feel a little bit different than that. I feel like Cleveland is an organization. You can't compare Cleveland to a Mercedes-Benz organization. It's the Cleveland Browns organization. And they have not.
I don't know what happened. So he's basically telling me that we can't compare Cleveland to another organization because they haven't won a Super Bowl. That is preposterous. So what about when Houston got DeMeco Ryans? DeMeco Ryans had never coached it. He had never coached anybody. Look at the success he has had.
He's had a lot of success.
So I'm confused on what are we gonna do? We just gonna sit up here and say we got to go get experienced head coach? And how many experienced head coaches have not had success when they got retreaded?
But
what did Pete Carroll do with the Raiders after a Super Bowl winning
head coach? Organization.
What the fuck did he do with the Raiders?
Bad organization also.
But they got 3 Super Bowls.
That was 40 years ago. That was 40 years ago. They don't matter right now.
Okay, so what about the Cowboys? Mike may mention the Cowboys. All these splash hires.
Another bad organization.
They got 5 Super Bowls.
Jody, that was 30 years ago. Them Super Bowls ain't helping them right now.
I didn't. But see, you're talking about, and you're trying to equate things that I'm not talking about. I'm talking individually about the Cleveland Browns organization needing a formula different than what they have tried before for themselves. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result. The definition of that is insanity. So if you keep getting first-year coaches, no-name coaches, no-name coach, no-name coach, no-name coach, and you keep getting no-name results, so at some point, maybe saying, you know what, we're going to go all in and we're going to wait until, and we're going to convince one of these guys. If we got to bring the Brinks truck and say, hey, man, I'm going to give you $100 million to come coach the Browns, make them an offer they can't refuse, and then see how that works out.
Hold on, Mike. Who the fuck are we going to get and do that for? What coach, since you're talking this shit, what coach are we waiting to quit? And who the fuck leaves a team where he's winning? So talk to me. Who gonna leave a team that's winning to go to a team that's fucking losing? Tell me what coach are you gonna do that for?
I tell you right now. I would make a play at Sean McVay. I would make a play at.
He's not fucking leaving around.
Do you know if he's leaving till you ask him? Can you put together a package that makes you think like, you know what?
That's a bad
take. Wait a minute. I might try this. I didn't want here already.
That's a bad take, Mike.
That's what winning organizations do. They put the money up and go after. Why do you think Pat Riley used to continue?
That's basketball, Mike.
Then what was this sport?
Hold on, I'm gonna ask you, Mike. I'm gonna ask you a question. What organization that was bad went and lured a winning Super Bowl coach from their job in their prime away from that organization? Who has ever done that?
I'll tell you right now. Won a Super Bowl, won a championship with the Colts, and then went to the Don Shula.
Are you serious?
You asked me. You said
when did Don Shula go to the Colts?
You said
when did Don Shula go to the Colts? And when was the last time he won a fucking Super Bowl when he went to the Colts?
No, they didn't win. Like he won. He was winning at the Colts. They won whatever championship it was, and then he ended up coaching Miami.
He was not the head coach of the Colts. He was not the head coach of the Colts. He was not the head coach of the Colts. You talking about the Baltimore Colts?
Yeah.
He was not the head coach of Baltimore. Come on, man. So
isn't that where he started? Did he start at Baltimore? Then went to
he might have started there. But he did not win a Super Bowl there. That was
No,
not
he
his
was.
I don't think they had a Super Bowl while he was there. He won a Super Bowl. He went undefeated with the Dolphins. But I know he was the Colts head coach, and he left there on the up. He didn't get fired or nothing like that. He got lured away.
King Ming said that was a terrible take, Mike. And I'm just saying.
I don't care. It's a fact.
It's nobody you can go that's in their prime. Sean McVay is probably one of the hottest coaches in the NFL. He's at 40 years of age. It ain't no amount of money you're gonna be able to pay to him that he's gonna leave the fucking Rams job to come take the Cleveland Browns job.
That's bullshit. If you offer that man 150 million, 200, whatever it takes to get him, he will be in Cleveland. But Cleveland don't think like that. And that's
no fucking way he gonna lead the Rams. There's no coach that you're gonna be able to lure for no amount of money that's gonna leave a winning organization to come to a losing organization. What so we got
happens in sports all the time.
You can't say it happen all the time.
I said it happens in sports all the time.
When did it happen in the NFL?
I can't recall the last time it happened in the NFL. I have to go through every coach from every team that over the last 40 years I've been watching football. But I do know this: companies that want to go in a certain direction, pay whatever it takes for the CEO that they want to operate their company to get them to the next level.
That's
and you're saying, no.
That's
we
not
can't
football,
do that,
man.
We can't do that. We have to keep getting retreads and no treads. So you know what? Fuck it then. Be 4-17 again.
You're not going to do what you just said.
So you think that one of these guys, after 40, 50 years, you think one of these first-year guys is going to take you guys to a Super Bowl after it hasn't happened from my lifetime, your lifetime, and everybody that's alive's lifetime right now?
Everybody that coach is a first-year head coach at some point. The goddamn Seattle Seahawks coach McDonald is in his second fucking year, and it's the first time he ever fucking coached. He was in the same coaching tree with Todd Monken. What's up, Donald? Talk to me, my boy. What's going on?
I don't understand the art. I mean, because if we're gonna talk about, we don't know if it's first. I think we don't know if it's a good hire or not until they win or lose, and then we all look like geniuses at the end. But I just feel like if we can't say it's a bad hire, we can't say it's a good hire because we don't know either way. I don't understand the question.
And that's why me and Soul said we gave him a fucking C because we don't fucking know. And I said not only is it a C, it's probably incomplete. Go ahead, Mike.
Donald, have you been listening to our debate before you got on? Because I'll recap what my point is.
Mike, I've been listening on it.
My only point to this whole madness is that Cleveland is the kind of organization that needs a splash hire kind of coach because they continuously keep hiring retreads, no treads, deadheads, crackheads to be the coach, and they never are able to secure or don't even put together a package to try to secure.
And Mike, I'm asking you, who would have satisfied your logic that was remaining as a head coach that was out here?
Well, I think that Cleveland should have made the ultimate pitch for Jim Harbaugh. The moment that he said that situation.
You mean John Harbaugh?
John Harbaugh. Or I think that they should have offered Mike Tomlin a package, $150 million, make him the highest paid coach in every sport combined. And then you might get somebody that can change the trajectory of where you are going.
You cannot make that with Mike Tomlin
because
you can't do that with Mike Tomlin because you would have to give up draft picks, and Cleveland don't have the accessibility to give up some draft picks just to get a head coach. That's what the Denver Broncos had to do to get Sean Payton. If Sean Payton was available, I would agree with you. But Mike Tomlin already said he's going to take a year off. Sean McDermott already said he's going to take a year off. But Sean McDermott ain't won shit either. So even said it. So predicted. He said he can't get the team to the next level. You got to go with somebody else. The only thing I got a problem with is how the fuck is Joe Brady a good coach and hire, Donald, but Todd Monken is not. Which one has done more or who has done less?
I don't know who's going to be a good hire. I think whoever get the best players in the best situation is going to win. I don't think, honestly, I just don't like, but I do think this. All I can go off of the offense that I've seen the Ravens running. And what he does with Lamar Jackson, I don't see Shador. But at the same time, Shador may not be I'm not sold on Shador. So I don't think he should. As crazy as it sounds, I don't think Cleveland needs to get him a quarterback. But I truly believe that. I don't think Shador's the guy. I don't think Watson's the guy. I just don't think they have a guy at quarterback. And I think before you go make a coaching hire, you need to make sure you have a guy at quarterback.
This is my issue. This is my issue. We're gonna move on. So how are we gonna say that Shador is not the answer at quarterback? But when John Harbaugh took the job with the Giants, he is already sold on Jackson Dart. How is Jackson Dart already anointed as a good quarterback and ready to take you to that? Have y'all watched some of Jackson Dart's? He can't even, what you say, so he can't even stay out the fucking blue tent. No. So why is it that when John Harbaugh went to New York, he said he got a quarterback, but if you come over here with Shador Sanders, you don't, so?
Well, Jody, it starts with the owner. The owner didn't even want to draft Shador Sanders. That's what I'm saying. He put that bad vibes out there. That's the type of shit you got going on. Shador deserves a chance to lose his job. The new coach needs to come in and say, look, Shador's our guy. Have him a full training camp, preseason. He's a starter. Regular season, let's get this thing going. Now, if he don't work out next year, if you want to bring another quarterback, they'll do it. He deserves a full season at quarterback to see if he can quarterback that football team. I think he does.
Go ahead, Tom.
I'm saying he might not be. He might be right. He might be wrong. But if that's his personal opinion, if Harbaugh feel like Shador ain't shit and Jackson Dart is, that's his personal opinion, and he may feel like that's what he can do with it. It's gonna be right or wrong. We'll see in the end if he was right or wrong. But just because somebody's playing bad, sometimes you can see something in a bad situation and say, okay, I know I can do with that. That goes back to a lot of guys getting more opportunities, like the Sam Darnold. Certain people see things in certain. You see things in certain people that you feel like you can deal with. Some people have habits you be like, I can't do nothing with that.
Jackson Dart got some talent, but he needs to realize he's not a high school quarterback. You can't be running like that, bro. You ain't gonna last long in this league doing that bullshit.
I get it, man. We gonna definitely see, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna talk college football. We could. The Big Ten dropped their schedules coming up next season. So I was watching the show. One of the teams, the Ohio State Buckeyes. I'm going to go over this. Mike, this is who Ohio State has to play this year because I don't want to hear no fucking excuses about their schedule. They got the Texas Longhorns. They got Illinois. Both of these had 9 wins plus. They got Iowa, bowl champion. They won their bowl game. I believe they had 8 or 9 wins. The Indiana Hoosiers, they won a national championship. USC won 9 plus games. Oregon won 10 plus games. Nebraska won 8 plus games. And the Michigan Wolverines. That's who Ohio State has to play. Mike, what do you think about this schedule? If Ohio State can find a way to still make the playoffs with that schedule, would you have a different opinion about the Ohio State Buckeyes?
No, I'd have the same opinion I have about Ohio State all the time, is that they would have had a great season that season and played the toughest schedule in America this particular year. I don't start the season off with any disposition. When the schedule comes out, you know who has a tough schedule, you know who doesn't. Last year they didn't. This year, that schedule was stacked. This is what I have been asking for this particular season, to say, hey, look, it's too many games that the teams that are the top teams don't play. Now, I personally think this is overkill. There's no way on earth that Ohio State should end up with a schedule where you got, I think you said 9 of those 12 games or 10 of the 12 games that they're going to play are against teams that won 8 games or more.
Yeah. Well, 9.
And you got, and that would include the defending national champ, a semifinal contestant, Texas, who will be overrated at the beginning of the season again. So, and then you got their rivalry with Michigan. They got a new coach, but that could be an upgrade for them. We don't know how that's going to go, but it's still Michigan. And then Iowa doesn't give me a Woody in any sort of way, but they are a team that baked into that schedule. Where do you get a break other than your bye week? So if Ohio State wins 10 games with that schedule, I don't care which way it happens, they should be one of the top 12 teams if they're able to win 10 games with that 12 game schedule.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, same question to you. How do you look at Ohio State? We got Texas, who's the hot team. They're gonna be hot again. They probably gonna be in the top 5. Illinois, who won 9 games. Iowa, who won 8 or 9 games. The defending national championship, who has retooled at the quarterback position. Otherwise, Indiana Hoosiers. USC. Now, I don't know where these games will be. They haven't told us where these games will be played at, so I don't know where they're gonna be.
Y'all got to play Texas and Austin.
We got to go to Texas.
Yeah.
We got Oregon. And Mike said, their quarterback Dante Moore is coming back, so they have relatively the same team that they had a year ago that won 10, 11 games. You got Nebraska, who will have a new quarterback, but they still got Rule at the coach, and then you got our rival Michigan Wolverines. So, what do you think Ohio State? Where would you look at Ohio State with this type of schedule?
Oh, that's a tough schedule. I'm impressed with that. I mean, like Mike said, if they can win 9, 10 games out of that schedule, I'd be impressed. But sometimes, man, these schedules is so early. Teams we think they're going to be good, they might not be as good when the season starts. Indiana might fall off. Oregon might dip a little bit. You just never know how this thing's going to play out. So schedules that look tough now when the season starts, be like, man, shit, we worry about them dudes. They're really not that fuck good. You just never know.
Yeah, you're right, because we thought Penn State was going to be a powerhouse, and they end up being a outhouse. Donald, what you think about Ohio State's schedule?
I mean, I think it's tough, but I think it's all teams that Ohio State should be better than. So you got a week to prepare between each one, and you should still win 10, 11 games just because you're better than these teams in the first place. I can't see. I just feel like you're still better than those teams, so you should still win 10 games at least.
I think I'm with Mike. If Ohio State can win 10 games out of this schedule, I don't give a damn if they don't win the Big Ten, because evidently they may drop 2 teams in Big Ten conference play, which will probably eliminate them from going to the championship game. I think this is the shoe-in schedule for if Ohio State goes 10-2, this got to be a shoe-in schedule. But I think you got to beat your rival Michigan and you got to beat Indiana, I think, to go to that next level. Mike, what do you think?
I got a question for you that's really good. How would you feel if Ohio State went 6-6 with this schedule?
I would still be disappointed because I'm leaning toward what Donald said. We got Chris Henry Jr. coming in. He's one of the hottest recruits in the country. We still got Jeremiah Smith. We got a Heisman Trophy finalist at quarterback. You still got Bo Jackson. If they give him the ball, he's going to be better. We got a ton of recruits. We still got some studs on the defense side of the ball. We still got a better roster than probably every team that I named, including Indiana. So 6-6, I'm looking for Ryan Day's head.
No, he won't go. They won't go 6.
No, they won't. I'm just saying, but I'm going with according to what Mike said. I'm going for his head. Donald, what you think?
Oh, 6-6. I mean, I'm not gonna say go to his head, man. The man won a championship at that time. It'd be 2 years ago. So I'm not gonna say get out there, because my thing is, if you go 6-6 and you fire him, somebody who just won a championship, who do you hire? You just had a bad year. You retool. You give them a couple years to work it out. But at 10-2, I don't care if Ohio State play Sinclair and Clark State. They're gonna get in the playoffs anyway. Ohio State with 10 wins and it's 12 teams. They're going to get in regardless. They bring some of the most money in they're going to get in. That ain't even.
So real quick before I go to you, and then we go to the next subject. If Ohio State, who has Kent State on their schedule, what if they struggle with Kent State, but they win 10 games, but let's say it's a 20-14 game against Kent State. Will you still have the same mentality about Ohio State if they struggle in a game like that?
Hey, man, sometimes you have a bad day. As long as you win the football game, even if you lose a game, I still think you're okay. No. I mean, it's about how you bounce back from that shit, man. I mean, so what if they lose to a Kent State, bounce back and win the rest of the games? I think they'll be just fine. I mean, if they go 6-6 with the roster they have, I don't know who Mike said. If Mike said that, oh yeah, they'll fire their fucking coach. The player they have 6-6 is unacceptable.
If we lose that first game to Ball State, yeah, we'll see.
Nah, that ain't gonna happen.
No, my little homie Will Yates. I love you to death.
Yeah, I know his mom too. Yeah,
But y'all got something coming. Now we losing in that first game. It's a
That ain't-
whole nother ball game.
That ain't gonna happen.
happen.
Mike, what you think?
I think Ohio State, if they win 10 games out of that schedule, you could take Ohio State's name off of that schedule. You could tell me this is Donald Duck University and that's their schedule. I would say if a team won 10 games with that schedule, they should be, I don't give a fuck if they won 16 to 15 against Kent State. With that schedule, it just comes out that way. And not everybody's schedule is built the same. But the converse thing is that if all of these teams were at their high or happen to have a season where they're at their highest level, and Ohio State with a new offensive coordinator and some missing pieces of guys that all went to the NFL, get out to a slow start, kind of have the Penn State snowball happen to them, and ended up 6-6. With that schedule, I wouldn't consider firing my head coach because that schedule in the NFL, you could look at certain schedules and you say that team could go 11 and whatever, or they could fuck around and be 500, right? Because the schedule's tough. Like it's competition, it's sports. It ain't written on paper and then it go that way. You actually have to play these games. There's gonna be rain. There's gonna be snow. There's gonna be somebody's gonna get hurt. It's going, you know what I'm saying? It's everything that goes into a season. And if it panned out for him to go 6-6, I just think it'd be kind of overreach to say, hey, let's get this guy up out of here. Because that schedule, I can't think of anybody in the last 5 years that's had a schedule like that. And that's the SEC. No matter how they configure it, I've given them a lot of credit for their scheduling to be competitive, but not like that.
And then you got to think about it. Let's say Ohio State does run the table, and let's say they go undefeated with this schedule. Then they got to fuck around and turn around and play either Indiana again, Oregon again, Michigan again. Like, so it wouldn't get any easier. Then when you get into the first, you probably get a first round bye, and then you're going to probably have to play a team that got 10, 11 wins in your first game that you play. So Ohio State, if they win a championship, it's going to be this will be one of the best according right now, because of course, like Soul said, everything can change, quarterbacks can get hurt. But if you look at this roster, you got normally you got a change of the guards at the quarterback position. Texas is bringing back a Heisman Trophy candidate. Oregon's bringing back a Heisman Trophy candidate. Michigan is bringing back one of the hot quarterbacks in the country, Underwood. Indiana is bringing back a guy, Josh Hoover, that probably is more talented than the Heisman Trophy quarterback in Francisco Mendoza. Illinois is bringing back their starting quarterback. This guy only had like Altman. Altman had a fantastic season. So if you're looking at USC bringing back their quarterback, who was one of the best quarterbacks in the Big Ten. So you got a lot of teams that's bringing back quarterbacks that Ohio State has to face. And that's why I say this will be one of the most strategic seasons for Ohio State. If they can be successful in this season, we'll see with this one. This could go down as one of the best seasons in college football history if they can run the table. I don't think they will, but and who cares? I just want Ohio State to get in the playoffs. Hey, but let's get over to our NBA, guys. There's a lot of things going on in the NBA. But so let's first talk about the game of the night. Donald, the game of the night that we got going on in college, the NBA, is we have the Spurs at 31-15. They go down there with Soul down there. They go about an hour and a half travel to Houston to play the Houston Rockets, man. Who do you like in this game, Donald?
Houston Rockets.
You like the Rockets in this one?
I like the Rockets. They just played, didn't they? Like last week or so.
Yeah.
And, I ain't gonna lie, I just like the way Durant guarded Wemby. It's like it was the same type of player, and it was cuffs. I just like the way he guarded him. But I just think the Rockets. I like Sengun actually. I don't really care about Durant. I think Sengun put body on Wemby and keep him off. Sometimes when a person longer than you, pause, you gotta touch the wall.
Oh wow! Jeez. Hey man, just go to Soul, man. Just cut his boots off.
But yeah, man, I like the Rock. I like the Rockets tonight.
When a guy's banging you, what you say?
And you juggling two balls. Hey, so what do you think of this game right there in your neighborhood, the Spurs and the Rockets?
I'm gonna go Spurs. I think they get some get back. I think last time they played the Rockets beat them, so I'm gonna go Spurs this time.
Okay, Mike, who you got in this matchup?
I'm going to answer this question, but I'd be remiss for the people that view this show if I did not say that we just did a college football segment on this show, and the only college football team we talked about was one particular team. I think we could have had, some more dialogue as to, probably the team or one of the teams on here that's, position maybe to go back to the national championship, or a team that was jilted last year, like a jilted lover. But I mean, I just wanted to point that out.
Hold on, I want to know before you
January.
Hold on, before you do that. Before you do that, the only why I said Ohio, because their schedule just came out last night. The other conferences schedule, I haven't seen their conference schedule.
Miami's schedule is out.
I'm saying I didn't see it. I was watching the Big Ten Network and they spoke. And when I seen Ohio State, what they had to play, I didn't want to care. I didn't want to talk about Ohio State, but when I know they got to play Michigan, Oregon, and Indiana, and Texas, I had to talk about that. I really wasn't even going to talk about college football, so it had nothing to do with that. So it's not no bias. I just seen the gauntlet of a schedule that Ohio State had. But go ahead.
And I got a news flash for you, Mike. You know they say the worst place in sports to be is the person that loses the championship because you don't know if you're right there or you're far away.
You know what? The worst place to be is not to even be able to talk to the person that lost the championship because they kicked your ass. And the best thing you can do is to keep your mouth shut and stay in your room and stay in the corner. Don't get in grown folks' business, young man. Now, as far as the Spurs and Houston.
Right. He said they won the same amount of championships last year.
As far as the Spurs and Houston, shout out to the Twin Towers because Wemby is two people at once. And I think that's a hell of a thing to have to deal with. A guy that can literally Euro step from the top of the key and get to the bucket in this league the way they got the rules set up now. So good luck to the Rockets, but I like the Spurs and the Twin Tower. Single tower, Twin Tower. Shout out to the Twin Towers.
That's Barkley's brother.
Who?
Mike. He can't talk about the game without diminishing in some type of way.
Right. He says Barkley's brother. Hey, Ashley, what's up, Light Bright? She says she got the Spurs, and King Mix was talking about Mike on his take, trying to make it look like we trying to be like only talk about Ohio State. Trust me, I did not want to talk about Ohio State, but when I seen that schedule,
hey man. Can we get this guy on the show? He needs to be. If Ray can't make it, can he just come on so that he can fill in for Ray, and it can just be a tag team that way once again, so we keep the balance on the show.
You just know that he just said you had a terrible fucking take. Like I want him to come on here so he can tell you in your face that you had a terrible take.
That's what I want. I don't want the ducking and hiding in the Twitter faces.
Who the hell was that? No doubt. Hey, but in this game, I'm going to go with the Rockets just because the Rockets are at home. And right now, the Spurs, I think, need to regroup. And they need to regroup now before the All-Star break and understand that they got to get ready for this stretch run. They still a young team that's still trying to find ways to win because they've been losing games that they shouldn't lose. And this is a tough game to win on the road. Kevin Durant is starting to really settle in with this Houston team and be the go-to guy. And A-Man Thompson is one of the best. I think he's the best perimeter defender in the NBA. I think he's the best perimeter defender. He's going to cause all kind of problems for Dylan Harper if he's matched up with De'Aaron Fox. He has too much length, pause, and I think he's going to cause too much problems, and they won't be able to orchestrate that offense easily when you got a 6'7" guy with a wingspan of a 7-footer down there on the top of the key. So I got Houston in the game.
You think Thompson's a better defender than Luka? I don't know.
Man, that's a tough. Hey, so that's a tough one, man. I don't know.
I don't know. James Harden. I don't know.
What's with you Coleman fellas in this thing with length today?
Hey, length. Hey, sometimes you just gotta be longer, Mike. You gotta be longer. But Soul on Sports, man. This is the question. Giannis have came out publicly and said that he does not want to be in Milwaukee, that he wants to be traded. I think he will get traded by the February 5th deadline. What do you think? He's having another All NBA season, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 5.6 assists. Where does Wemby end up?
Wow.
I mean, I'm sorry, Giannis. I said Wemby.
Yeah. Well, you said Wemby, maybe the Spurs. It depends on what the Milwaukee Bucks are looking for. Do they want players back or they want draft picks? Because I think the Spurs have the next 40 first round draft picks from every team in the NBA. They were showing the list of their draft picks. They got a fuckload of draft picks. And they have some young players on their roster that they can afford to give up. They got 38 point guards. They can afford to give up some of those point guards and some of the first round picks to bring Giannis to San Antonio. I think he would fit here, and he would add that toughness that the Spurs are missing. They're trying to build a roster. Well, we're going to build our team slow. We're going to let this like we used to. Fuck around and find out. You try to keep all these players, then it's time to pay them. You can't afford all these son bitches. Because nowadays, you got to pay role players $40 million a year. Mm-hmm. So you can't keep everybody. So if I can get Giannis in right now, that window might be smaller, but I get me a championship. I would try. I would do that if I was the Spurs.
So you said Wemby Giannis will fit. Where would he fit? So
that's the question for Giannis.
Okay,
that's something they're gonna have to work out.
He said he got a lot of length. So where would he fit? So
wherever he wants to.
Yo,
he's an alien. Aliens do whatever they want.
That's crazy work. Michael, the people sent the Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think I said it right. He wants to leave Milwaukee, man. Where does he end up landing?
Oh boy, this is a shocker. I think what Soul said would make a lot of sense. You would literally be recreating the Twin Towers on steroids with those two guys. I think it would be interesting. I don't know that this could happen. I don't know how this could happen, but it'd be interesting if he could get to Golden State. Clearly, Golden State doesn't want Kuminga. I take all the draft picks I could muster up, Kuminga, Timmy Taco, and everybody else, and send them to Milwaukee, to the Blizzard, and tell Giannis to come on out to Golden State.
Okay, Donna, what you think?
Those two locations. Especially with, I just don't see what happens with Dylan Harper, because I think Castle is going to have that position on a lockdown, and then in about a year or two more years, Wemby's going to be making $1 billion.
Yeah,
you're going to have to pay Fox again, and then you're going to have to pay either. I don't think it makes sense to pay Harper and Castle a year apart. So I think Castle is better. So I would get away from Harper now. And just give them that, and because they got the Atlanta Hawks pick, they're probably gonna have a top 10 pick, top 5 pick maybe. And I like that. I like New York because it seemed like Towns is just out of it. I don't think he want nothing to do with like Mike Brown, just the way he playing. The offense is crazy. I could see him going to New York, and I could and like Mike said, Golden State. I believe they. I don't wish nobody playing for Steve Kerr, but Golden State makes sense. Make them take Draymond and Kuminga, because you can turn Kuminga into Giannis, but Kuminga can be a 25-point game. Okay, game guy.
But this is the thing, y'all keep talking about Karl Anthony Towns. I think J.K. and Chef were talking about Karl Anthony Towns possibly being traded off the air, but Karl Anthony Towns leads the NBA in rebounds.
He's no, it's not his ability. He just don't. You can just tell he just don't want to be. It's just not the fit. Well, it's just not there. But I honestly believe that I don't think that's the Knicks' problem. I believe that's a scapegoat, and I believe that backhanded deal that Brunson gave him, they can't make it seem like he's the problem. But the problem is Brunson's dribbling the ball too much, and Cat's not as involved as he should be.
Okay. King Ming said number 1 the Heat, number 2 the Spurs, number 3 who knows, maybe 3-team trade. He said the Warriors. I can see that. I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go slightly different. Why don't you send him in the same region? Just send him over to Minnesota. They've been starving for a guy. They can get rid of Rudy Gobert. He has a large contract that you can kind of mirror somehow. If you got to give him Rudy Gobert and fucking Julius Randle, why not give up them two guys? Because Giannis is better than both of them combined. He's a better defender. He's just a better player. If you team him up with the Ant-Man, we could be talking about something really special in Minnesota. Minnesota has some money to spend, especially if you get rid of Rudy Gobert and Julius Randle. I think that'll cover the salary that Giannis will be desiring. So I like Minnesota, man. Minnesota would be fantastic, and I think they would probably be able to finally get over the hump if you got Giannis and Ant-Man, and that can give an opportunity for Giannis, who is ailing, who has a lot of injuries. He can sit back and let Ant-Man do his thing, and then when playoffs come, they will have an opportunity to make a run. So I like him in Minnesota. Go ahead, Mike.
I also think you could send Jason Tatum to Milwaukee and get Giannis, and that the duo of Giannis and Jaylen Brown will get you another championship in Boston.
Mike, you just been saying bad takes. That's just, nigga, you think they gonna trade Jason fucking Tatum
for Giannis?
A younger Jason Tatum who just won you a championship?
This dude's coming off of an Achilles. We don't know what that's going to be like. Achilles surgeries are better than they ever been before. But I'm talking about if you're doing something blockbuster, if you have seen that Jaylen Brown can carry your team, and then you can make a swap like that, you could kick the tires on it. I mean, it's not a bad concept.
Jason Tatum, a 5-time All-NBA player that's under the age of 30. King Mink said, Mike, what the fuck, bro? Stop. This is what he's saying. Bro, come on, Mike.
If Jaylen Brown can win the MVP this year and they'll trade him before Jason Tatum.
I'm simply saying that is a trade. Look, you're talking about star for star. Y'all keep trying to give Milwaukee some cookies and milk and saying that this is a good trade, when no. Milwaukee might want a superstar player. You were onto something when you said Cat for Giannis and some other parts, because Giannis, we say, is better than Cat. Are you telling me that you believe that Jason Tatum is a better basketball player right now than Giannis?
No,
yes.
I'm thinking about this. My thing is, the NBA owners, they're stupid. They should have kept it behind closed doors and not said it's open trade. They're going to get what somebody gives them at this point. So they're definitely not getting no Jason Tatum. You can't get what you want. You're going to get what we give you.
He's still on the contract, though. I mean, for this year and another year, so they don't have to trade him right now.
They don't have to trade him. Then you're going to get what we give you.
I know, Dom, I'll tell you right now, if Joey's the GM for the Minnesota Timberwolves, this nigga called me and offered me Rudy and Julius Randle, I'm fucking hanging up on you. You got to do better than that.
Now my take was bad, but that shit sounded good.
You're not going to get, that's what you're going to get for that, because you got to think about it.
Rudy,
Donald just said it. You're not going to get a star for a star. Not when you don't have to. And I'll be damned if I give fucking Jason Tatum, a guy that's under 30, that's already been on 5 first-team All-NBA and won me a championship, to go get a guy that's over 30 that has just as many injuries as Jason Tatum.
It might not be a star. It might not be a star player, but you can't give me bullshit either. You might not have a draft pick for the next 10 years. I want all your first round.
I would give you that. I'm telling you, that's what they're gonna get.
I'm gonna tell you what I can see happening also, because I do believe the Lakers got to get away from. They got to get something for Austin Reeves now.
He hurt too.
Well, this is the thing. Because King Mink said, can we find Mike for the takes? And I said Jody take was horrible. Also, he needs to get fined for Rudy and Randall. What do you? Okay, this is my thing. What do y'all think y'all gonna get? Now let's go back to the Dallas Mavericks. Did the Dallas Mavericks get star for star? Yeah. Was Anthony Davis as good as fucking Luka Doncic?
He's a super. Anthony Davis is a superstar.
Was he as good as Luka Doncic?
He better than Rudy Gobert.
No. I didn't ask you that. I said, was he as good as Luka Doncic?
No, they don't have to be that.
Exactly. So they got swindled in that trade, giving a broken up ass Anthony Davis.
So let me ask you
They got to ask you this question,
Jody.
What's up?
So I know you do very well in the nightclub settings. You have a reputation for yourself. You know, you bag dimes. We all know that. We help. We give you that stature. So if I offer you 2 5s for your dime, are you going to take that trade?
Now let me answer that. What are they willing to do?
Jody said, "I'll take me a thick nickel."
Yo, what are they willing to do, Mike?
But see,
Mike, hold on, Mike. What are they willing to do? I'm getting both at the same time. What are they willing to do?
You getting face value. This is it. As is versus your dime that you already know how it operates.
Do they
the dime thing, because it looks good don't mean it is good.
If I'm getting both of them at the same time and both of them got residual incomes coming in, that might not be a bad thing, Mike. I'm just saying.
So this is the kind of shit I'm dealing with here, people.
But I do think the Lakers got to get rid of Austin Reeves, and that might be somewhere to ship him.
Why would they get rid of him? He's like their second best player.
Because it's gonna come.
Yo, he said he better than LeBron. Oh shit.
No, that's cool, but they can't get rid of LeBron because if they say you got to go to the wrong place, he's gonna say no.
LeBron gonna retire, bro. He gonna retire.
That's what I'm saying. I believe he's gonna retire. I believe he's gonna retire after this year anyway. So you gotta
no. He's got to come back and get his farewell tour.
Oh yeah,
rocking chair. He's got to,
if he does, deservedly so. But
he got to give Bronny another 5-year extension and get the other kid in the league and all the stuff so that you look LeBron. I don't know what y'all gonna do when the day that man retired. I don't know what that LeBron sexuals are gonna do, but
they probably keep watching basketball, and
basketball will continue to go on.
The thing is, the Mike sexuals are way worse than the Bron sexuals. I'm saying that now.
That's because you're a Bron sexual.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not a LeBron fan at all. I'm an honest analyst, and I'm gonna keep it real. What's factual is factual. I don't like LeBron.
You just
at
like
all.
Isaiah.
I've never been a Bron. I've never been a Bron fan.
No records.
I've never been a Bron fan. So anyway, I think it's gonna come a point where it's gonna get in the playoffs, and then the starting team's backcourt is gonna be Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, and they're gonna flat out just let everybody lay the ball up every time. You have to get somebody with some type of resistance, and Austin Reeves has a lot of value. I
told Jody that last year. Remember, I was talking about how slow the motherfucking backcourt is.
He said they got the weakest defensive backcourt ever.
This why they got no chance now. They got 2 people who are gonna let you walk by them, and then when the next line of defense is gonna be LeBron, and he gonna be so busy crying, he not even gonna guard nobody either. It's just, and then you got Ayton. Oh, he can't make a layup. They are cooked. And then they put Jared Vanderbilt in the NBA basketball game. That is the craziest thing to me, to put a player that plays on the wing in a basketball game who can't shoot the basketball. Because even if you take, hold on, let me just finish. If you take the guy who averages 30 points, right? You play great defense and you hold him to 24, right? But you get 0, you still got dominated. I never understood putting a defender in the game but score some points.
Go ahead,
so you say that Luka and Austin Reeves is bad. Who on the Lakers team has the worst defensive rating in the starting 5?
LeBron.
All day.
But he's 41, Mike.
No. Hold on.
But he decided to play at 41.
ISO. You wanted to make LeBron look bad so bad. You skipped over to the point that I said, when they get past Luka and them, who's going to let him walk to the rim also? I said he was bad. You wanted to make it seem like
no. I wasn't really saying.
No, he wasn't saying towards you, Donald.
I'm saying period. I'm saying no, he's bad. And I said, I'm not worried about LeBron because I feel like he's going to walk away. If he walks away, it's nothing you can do about trading LeBron. So it's not no sense in doing that, because if you say Bron, you're going to Washington, he's gonna say no, I'm not, and he's not leaving. So
King Ming said the day LeBron retires, Stephen A. Smith hair moves back forward and Skip. He said Skip quits wearing tight jeans. But Soul on Sports.
Yes, sir.
Who is your NBA mid-season MVP?
Wow. That's a good question.
Let me adjust my camera.
Mike's gonna like this. I might have to go Jaylen Brown. He's playing outstanding this year. I'm gonna go Jaylen Brown.
Okay, Mike, who you think is your mid-season MVP?
Hey man, I know we have Stradamus on here, and he's usually, ahead of the curve. I have been out there. I've been called everything under the sun. I've got people texting in, calling in, and I've been right the whole time. And the league is finally catching up to me, and it's Batman, Jaylen Brown. He's done with the Celtics at the midpoint of this year what nobody thought that he could do. Everybody thinks it's just Jason Tatum that's not there. They stripped that team down further than that. They don't have Porzingis. They don't have Tatum. They don't have some other parts that they had. And he said, you know what? I'll just average 29 points, some odd points, 6-7 rebounds a game, and 6 assists a game? Come on, man.
So you basically saying that he averaged what Jason Tatum been averaging his whole career? That what you said?
But Jason Tatum's always had him.
But I'm just saying. So I'm just asking.
Jason Tatum's always had him.
I'm asking the question. You basically saying that his numbers that Jason Tatum
No. Jason Tatum had him when he was averaging that. He's doing it without him.
I get that, but it's like, okay, you act like the Boston Celtics don't have nothing. They went and got Anthony Simon, who was putting up. He's a 22-point-a-game guy that got him. So he's averaging more than any of the guys you just said. So I get it. I mean, I'm not saying he's not playing like MVP, but it's crazy that we honoring this guy when Jason Tatum been doing this shit.
Do you know that Jaylen Brown was this year's halfway MVP?
Right. I'm just saying. I'm not going against what you're saying. I'm just like, you're honoring this guy, but Jason Tatum, it's like, oh, it's just Jason Tatum. It's cool.
Do you know that Jaylen Brown played with the Celtics before Jason Tatum?
Exactly.
And he wasn't good.
Exactly. But
he got Jason Tatum.
We don't want to talk
about. Can I ask
a
question?
No, we don't want to talk about that. I'm sorry.
And since you brought that up, when the money was on the line and championships were won and trophies were handed out, whom did the trophies go to for the most valuable player on the Celtics roster in the two finals that you could win? Fine, MVPs.
Jaylen Brown.
It was Jaylen Brown. But hold on, Mike.
Okay, let me ask you. What does it mean?
But hold on, we answered your question. Can you answer mine? Who was the leading scorer, rebounder, and assist in all the playoffs for the Boston Celtics?
I don't know.
I know you don't. It was Jason Tatum.
That's why I'm about to ask. What does it mean?
Jason Tatum averaged more points in the finals. He averaged more rebounds and more assists in the finals and in the Eastern Conference.
And all of that being said, he was not the most valuable player because there's this other part to the game called defense.
So Jason Tatum don't play defense? That's irresponsible. That's irresponsible to say that Jason Tatum don't play defense. That's very irresponsible.
Okay, so
he's not known as a two-way player.
Yes, he is.
Was the best two-way player in the NBA that whole time.
Who did he go? Who did he guard?
Who didn't he guard?
I'm asking you. Who did he guard?
You tell me who he didn't guard.
I'm asking you. I'm asking you.
He guarded the best player on every team and was a menace. The whole finals were getting turnovers and steals to go along with his points, rebounds, and assists, which is why the whole voting public gave him the MVP the same way they do all the time when they feel like somebody who's the most valuable player as like
Andre Iguodala and Steph Curry. I understand it.
So Donald,
you can't diminish his MVPs and then raise up other people's
MVPs. I'm not saying it don't exist. He got the MVP. I'm just asking you, what does it mean?
It means that he was the most valuable player to that championship run. He was that all-around alpha dog, most valuable player that people feel like that they couldn't have done it without him.
So I got a question. I'm about to get to you, Donald. I got a question with Mike real quick. So can we agree that Scottie Pippen should have got an MVP when Michael Jordan did?
No.
Okay. So Michael Jordan could have did it by himself. So Scottie didn't do nothing.
No,
he didn't defend the best. No. So Scottie didn't put up good numbers in the finals and he didn't defend the best player?
Scotty put up good numbers, but he was not the most valuable player. We all know he was not the most valuable player in any one of those finals. Now, when he was the most valuable player, was the year that Mike was out.
That ain't what I said. We know that.
I'm telling you when it was.
Scottie Pippen in the second run. Scottie Pippen was checking Karl Malone. He was checking all the top defenders.
Karl Malone, man.
They switched up. Go watch the tape. It wasn't just Dennis Rodman all the time.
Did Jordan get the steal against Malone?
Yeah, who was guarding? It was somebody else guarding. So we gonna just sit up here and poo-poo and say Scottie Pippen wasn't the most versatile player defensively. He didn't lead the team in assists, and he wasn't one of the lead leaders and rebounders. In the second league,
he was a very versatile player and a very pivotal point in the championship, but he was not the most valuable player. It's a reason why they call it most valuable player. They don't say most kind of sort of good. It's the most valuable player.
Michael Jordan the best defensive shooting guard of all time?
No,
absolutely.
No, he's the best. He's the best everything of all time.
Who's better than him?
If you're looking at it just from, I think Alvin Robertson might have been better, or Michael Cooper might have been better defensively. If you're just looking at just defensively, I think Mike, because he was so good defensively, he was very good. He's a top 3, but it's some guys that we gotta really dig into that.
I need those films. So I need y'all to send me that too. Like when Mike really defended somebody, because I can't really find them.
Let me ask you this.
I
got this. What one of those 6 championships, Jody? Well, let's take out the first 3. Let's deal with the back 3. Which one of those series would you have given someone else other than Jordan the MVP? Which one of those?
To be honest, I'm just telling you. Guess who was the leading scorer in that series? Michael Jordan. That's why he got it. Jason Tatum, I was making a point, and I'm glad you helped me, because Jason Tatum was the leading scorer. He had more 30-point games, and he was a leading rebounder and assist guy. So we know that Jason Tatum should at least have won the Finals MVP. Maybe not the Eastern Conference, but he should have won the final. Remember, he thought he had won. And remember, he stepped to the podium and they gave it to Jaylen Brown. Even though Jaylen Brown did not put up the numbers that Jason Tatum did.
Let me ask you this. Is Jaylen Brown one of the more liked guys in the NBA, or one of the guys that's more got an antagonistic relationship with the media?
I was gonna get to that.
I don't think Jaylen Brown's like that much.
But nobody likes Jason Tatum. Nobody likes Jason Tatum.
This what I was gonna get to. Jason Tatum. For years, for the past 3-4 years, they've been saying, why can't Jason Tatum even be in the MVP talk? Nobody understand it. Nobody, it's just this thing. So, so you said the voters voted that Jaylen Brown was the best, correct?
As they do with every finals.
So let me ask you this. That made it correct, right? The voters are humans, right? But yesterday, when the voters voted something, it was egregious and it couldn't be right, and people made mistakes.
That was a different sport.
That's what Jody loves to tell me. These are humans and voters.
That was football. This is basketball.
No, we can talk about basketball when they
let me ask you this.
To the fucking All-Star game.
You just told me 2 segments ago that when I brought up the coaches, when they buy the best coach to move, you told me that's a different sport. We can't talk about that. You just said that.
No, and I just said in basketball, they vote motherfuckers into the All-Star game that don't need to be there. So what are we talking about?
So do you believe in 2014 that Kawhi Leonard was the best player on the Spurs?
No.
Do you believe in 2016 that Andre Iguodala was the MVP of that team?
Hell no.
So what does it mean?
It means
that he was.
Okay.
So we ain't gonna even go there. But Donald, who do you got as your mid-season MVP? We got to get to that.
Cade Cunningham.
You got Cade Cunningham? Hey, so I'm gonna go against the grain and I'm gonna shake it up just a little bit. Y'all all pick some great players. Can we not say that Kawhi Leonard should be in the MVP conversation? Do you know what his record is? Who has enough games, has not missed he's played an adequate amount of games to still get the trophy. They're 22-24. With him in the lineup, they're down there they're one of the best teams in the NBA when he's in the lineup. He averaged 27.9 points a game, 6.2 rebounds, 3.5 assists, and he leads the NBA in steals. I know y'all don't like this one, but what he's doing with an aging team, we got guys that don't play defense like his counterpart in James Harden. If he plays, he continue playing, which is a big if. We gotta put Kawhi Leonard some respect on Kawhi Leonard's name.
They gotta start winning some more games, and he can definitely be up there for the MVP.
They 22 and 24. Remember, everybody had written them off, and they done won like fucking 10 out of the last 14 games.
They've been on a hot streak. I would ask you, because you like the numbers, when those numbers are not comparable to Jaylen Brown's numbers. But I do believe that Kawhi, it's okay to have him in the conversation.
I'm not knocking. Like I said, I think Jaylen Brown definitely needs to be in the MVP conversation. That's why I'm not saying that he shouldn't. That's why I said y'all made a great selection. But I just think that everybody tends to glance over, because we talk about most valuable player. Evidently, when Kawhi Leonard don't play, the Clippers are shit.
LeBron is down.
What you mean down? What's wrong?
There's something wrong with his ankle.
Soul said, King Mink, Soul said you didn't say SGA. Why not?
That's what I was gonna get to, because I don't know.
I was thinking SGA, but I'm like, they kind of struggle here of late. They're still really good. That's the reason why I didn't say him.
Yeah, they still what, number one in the league. He averaged about 32.
They're still really good.
So Donald, are you saying that they got voters fatigue already on SGA?
No. I just think that Cade Cunningham is more valuable. Like, I believe the Thunder will be better without SGA than the Pistons will be without Cade.
So, Mike, I got a question. We made mention of Jaylen Brown, good pick. Soul, good pick. Donald, good pick. Why are we not talking about Luka Doncic as the MVP, Mike?
I think because people are just unhappy with the Lakers situation. They're not tops in the West. They're in the middle of the pack of the West. Everybody deems them to have it's unfair probably to Luka, because if you really look at it, having LeBron on the team has people's mind clouded to the fact that Luka is carrying that team.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
What do you think about that?
I agree 100% with what Mike's saying. They're not really Luka's not going to get the love that he deserves for MVP until LeBron leaves LA. And I don't know. The defensive thing, the defensive, a lot of people don't like Luka now. They're starting to see the real Luka. He's a Laker. When you're a Laker, people don't like you. And people are really starting to see all the complaining that this guy does. He complains about everything. He's not well liked. I don't think so. But he's got plenty of talent. But until LeBron leaves there, I don't see him being even close to an MVP award.
Okay. Donald, what you think?
I don't think. I just don't. I mean, I think I would say he was probably top 5 or 6 or 7. Like, I think he's in the top 10 MVP. I just don't. It's just guys I would put over him. It's not that he's doing anything wrong. I think he's in a great situation, because even if they're sorry, they'd be like, they usually blame the best player on the team, but like not now. Like, when they're sorry, oh, Bron gotta go. It's Bron's fault. Like,
but he is the best player though.
Luka is the best player.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you usually blame the best player when the team is not good. But now, a lot of people don't blame Luka. Like, it's Bron. Like,
it's gonna happen. It's gonna be happening when LeBron going. It's gonna be all on his shoulder. He can be like,
that's you see. But I'm saying this is one of the first times I've seen a person be Luka is 20 times better than LeBron. This is the first time I see him blame, and on no other team in the league do I see him blaming the third best player for them not being good. I just don't see it.
But the third best player is not of LeBron's stature. I agree with you, but lonely is the head that wears the crown. And so that's just the way that it goes. Is it fair? No, but it's light. To whom much is given, much is expected. That's what we've lived off of. And I know that's foreign to folks 35 and under, because everybody gets a trophy and everybody gets along and everybody should be even. But that is not the American way, brother.
Everybody don't get a trophy.
American way is that you have to, Jody and them say it all the time, Motherfucker go out there hurt, but he's going out there gutting it out, but he's thinking up the joint, then you got to perform. You can't go out there and think it up because you're hurt. Either you need to suck it up and perform or not play. That's where Jody is at. And that's
I agree with that.
No, I just feel like Luka, he just doesn't get the criticism that the player how good he is gets. But I'm not. Bron is garbage now. He's garbage.
Jody, how many times we talked about how these foreign players don't get the criticism as the American-born players? That's a thing it's a thing that we don't talk about a lot. They don't come down on these foreign players as much as they do the American-born players.
Because we don't like us.
I'm thinking in the next 4 years that may change because we got a wave of American players that is coming out as college game.
Yes,
I think
sir.
Establish the balance of power.
America.
I got a question for Donald, Jody. But you said, and you made a really good point, that Cade Cunningham, without him, the Pistons are significantly worse.
That's what Donald said, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what Donald said. I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
So, Donald, do you apply the same logic to the Boston Celtics?
Oh, here we go.
I agree. I don't think Jaylen Brown is a bad pick. I just think that he's not where I'm not saying that he's bad because he's been playing MVP worthy basketball. I'm not saying he's not. I just wouldn't pick him to be. It can only be one. I just wouldn't pick him to be the MVP. Do I feel like they could be the same team if the roles were reversed and him and Tatum was out? Because I do. I believe that. I think they are the best healthy. I think they're probably the best duo in the league. And then Embiid and Maxey. But, that's another topic. But
real quick, before y'all say something, I want to go back to Luka Doncic for a minute. If any other player in the NBA was putting up the numbers Luka Doncic was putting up, they'll say this guy's having an all-world season. He averaged 33.8 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.8 assists. If this was Cade Cunningham, if this was Jalen Brunson, it's Jaylen Brown, we'll be talking about, we have never seen this before, but now it's Luka Doncic. He's been doing this year in and year out, and he's never won an MVP, yet and still guys like James Harden, when James Harden put up them points, we had to give James Harden MVP. We know James Harden don't play no fucking defense. So I'm confused on why Luka Doncic, and he probably won't even win an MVP this year. The team is a top 4 team in the Western Conference, and he's putting up phenomenal numbers, leading the NBA in scoring, one of the top in assists, and he's one of the better rebounding guards. But yet still Luka Doncic gets zero love because LeBron James is on the roster is crazy work to me, y'all.
But he didn't get no love when he was putting up these numbers in Dallas either. I mean, no one talked about it for MVP because when he was in Dallas.
But you got guys like Soul that harp on this guy's deficiency as if he is the worst defensive player to ever play in the NBA, of which he is not. I could go through a litany of great scores that stopped no one. They defense was their offense. You scored 25, I'm going to score 35. That's my defense, right? I've seen this throughout the annals of basketball. One of my favorite players on God's green earth is Dominique Wilkins. And I swear before God, there was no reason on earth that Dominique couldn't have been a better defensive player with all the athletic ability that he had. And I'm not saying he was terrible, but Carmelo Anthony wasn't a great on-ball defender, but could outscore anybody that you could imagine guarding. And I don't know why Luka gets that criticism other than he's a white guy more than,
And we don't even call Luka white. We call him foreign. Like, so you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's different. Like, I'm being serious. Like,
white is white, right?
we call Cooper Flag white, but we don't call Luka Doncic white. We don't really call anybody that's from overseas. Like, we never called Deadlift Shrimp white or Dirk. We called him foreign.
You're right. And white guys get that, they get the, we think they can make every free throw, and we think that they're terrible on defense. That's just bias. White guys even think that about white guys, right? And so Luka just kind of gets that extra criticism on his defense And there have been several people that won the MVP that wasn't great on ball one-on-one defenders.
And this internet era, more things get exposed, and they actually point out people being singled out a lot. It's just much more access to dive into the game, and it's much more narratives getting thrown around because people don't do nothing but sit around, listen to people talk, watch clips, and do stuff all day. So it's extra exposed.
Yeah,
that's very true. Because I remember people used to be like, Steph Curry don't play no defense, and I watched Steph Curry in the finals against the Boston Celtics, and I was like, let me watch, because I've never seen anybody just absolutely cook Steph Curry. And I watched it. I mean, he gave up a couple buckets, but who don't in the NBA? Even our defense, quote unquote, defensive stoppers give up buckets.
He tried.
I love Kobe Bryant to death, and people say Kobe is one of the best defense. I done seen Kobe get fucking cooked. Barbecue fucking chicken. I love Tim Duncan to death. But when he played against Kevin Garnett and fucking Dirk Nowitzki, he got barbecue motherfucking chicken. And I love Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's a 15-time all defensive player. And I've seen him get barbecue chicken. So
he didn't like seeing Sheed either.
Huh?
He didn't like seeing Sheed.
He didn't like Sheed because Sheed could stretch it. He could. So what I'm saying is, even like Rudy Gobert, you know, I'm one of the biggest critics of Rudy Gobert. How the fuck are you the defensive player of the year and you got to be taking out the game in the fourth quarter?
And you want me to trade him for Giannis? Get out of my phone.
You want to know who? You want to know
how much money he makes?
You want to know what power forward that Tim Duncan used to shit on a regular basis?
Who was that?
Elton Brand.
I know why he did.
Elton Brand was like 6'5".
I know why he did that.
That's wrong, Mike.
Yeah, you dumb as fuck, Mike. I'm gonna do that. That was slick. That was slick.
I was just looking at my notes. It was on my notes. I'm sorry. I didn't really mean that.
Hey, Donald, you don't have to take that, Donald. You don't
worry. Well, I don't have too many jokes back for him because none of them players in the league will matter anymore. So,
y'all stupid.
I don't think Elton Brand's dialing it up right now either. But okay.
That's crazy work, man. Hey,
I got a wager to you for you too, Mike.
Oh, when they play North Carolina
next week. Next
Saturday.
The loser wears the opposite player's team shirt on the show that following Monday.
Do you agree, Mike?
I'm allergic to certain things.
Nah, Mike. Do you agree, Mike?
Oh, God. Sweet
I need to put it in my notes. Do you agree, Mike?
I will take the bet.
Yes. You heard it, so. You heard it, right?
We got to make a clip of that shit.
I can't wait. I'll take
the bet. I'm good with it.
That's gonna be exciting. I can't wait for that, man. Good stuff.
We got a little scrimmage.
I like that, man. Hey, but it's gonna be.
I'm gonna make sure I find a medium for you to wear, Donald. You're gonna be on here like with a halvesies on.
I'm not gonna have to wear it. Go ahead.
Hey, but you already know when North Carolina and Duke get together, it don't matter what the records. That's really a rivalry. You don't give a fuck what the records are. I don't give a fuck if North Carolina done won 18 games straight and Duke done lost 18 games straight, or vice versa. It's gonna be a hell of a matchup, whether it's in Chapel Hill or it's in Raleigh, unless it's in Cameron Indoor. It don't even fucking matter. But great show, fellas. We'll be back tomorrow on Against the Grain Sports Podcast. But before we get out of here, Mike, the people said, man, give me your final thought as we get out of here.
Man, hallelujah to the court system in North Carolina. I was so happy that Mensa was able to get out of that contract with Duke University, and it looks like that the Miami Hurricanes will be the beneficiary of continuing the trend that they in Indiana seem to have, which is to go out and get one of the top quarterbacks in the portal. I talked to you guys about this before earlier in the football season, where a model might be to not recruit quarterbacks anymore, but to just take the best quarterback in the portal to continuously give your team the highest chance to win. And it looks like Miami and Indiana, the two teams that played for the national champ, are actually following the same model.
Don't forget last year's championship game. It was Will Howard And
Yeah.
Raleigh Leonard. So everybody getting a recruit quarterback. That's good stuff, Mike. That's good stuff because that's crazy. Shit, why even recruit a quarterback at this point? Just go get you one out the portal.
Yeah.
That's
You
crazy.
got to have a backup.
I feel that.
So you got to take a good court. You got to take the top quarterbacks that you can get to come in and sign. Because if this transfer guy gets hurt, you don't want to be totally depleted, even though you're going to be really kind of young and inexperienced. But the talent level, and we've seen how talent level goes. Early in the season, it ain't going to be that great. By the end of the season, it's going to rise to the top for those guys. So that's why you recruit quarterbacks. But if you can get one that's ready-made to play right now and compete for a championship, you got to go that way as long as the portal is set up this way.
Hey, that's good stuff, Mike. I like that. Donald, give me your final thoughts as we get out of here.
Okay, so the transfer portal. I just want, if any kids watching, I just want to let y'all know. Just because you transfer, you say you enter the portal, doesn't mean nobody wants you. A lot of guys are entering the portal and they're not getting signed by other schools, and you're left to go beg back where you were. And a lot of those guys are not taking you back. I just want to tell the kids, just stay resilient sometimes, trust the process, and just roll with some stuff sometimes. Every time the breakfast ain't hot in the morning, it ain't trying to transfer because the grass ain't always greener and you don't have to land nowhere else. It's not a given that you just land somewhere else. So I just want to tell the kids, just stick at it sometimes.
That's what I was saying yesterday too. Soul on Sports, man. Give me your final thought as we get out of here.
First of all, Bronny's in the game with about 7 minutes left because the Lakers are down by 30 points. So Bronny gets plenty of playing time. He's like, I'm getting these G League minutes tonight.
You got a rebound.
So all that been said, there's been 3. I looked it up since we talked about this Bill Belichick stuff. There's been 3 coaches that are first ballot Hall of Famers. Tom Landry definitely deserves it. Chuck Noll ran the 70s. And, of course, the leading coach of all time is Don Shula. And these guys don't combine together the amount of Super Bowls that Bill Belichick had, and he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Make it make sense. I understand Donald brought up yesterday the whole cheating scandal, but if it like you said, Joe, if it's that big of a deal, take away the Super Bowl. Since they didn't, you got to honor what the man did. Put him in the first ballot. He's not going to make it. Apparently, there's 11 people that didn't vote for him to get in there. There's only 50 people that vote. 11 people said no, which is crazy. I don't know who these 11 people are, but I think he should have got in first ballot. Just my opinion.
And so, just about your point.
Yeah.
What's the guy's name that was telling people not to vote for him?
Yeah, the guy, Bill Polian.
They asked me. He said he don't remember if he told him not to vote for him.
He's like.
Hey, so I need you to take that clip, cut it up, and put it on the page. I like that.
All right.
I like that. It's good stuff, man. Hold on real quick. King Ming said this would be a wonderful show and funny to even with the bad takes. You crazy. He said Don was one of the 11. So Don Shula didn't vote for him either?
Don Shula
did.
No, I actually said Don was one of the 11. Or he talking about Don O. He talking about Don. He talking about I don't know the show. I'm like, Don Shula didn't vote?
Hey, you know who else it's not getting in?
Who?
Eli.
Shit. Hey, this is my final time. I'm gonna go college basketball. And right now, man, it's some great basketball. Last night we seen that the Michigan Wolverines was able to beat Nebraska, knock them from the undefeated. But you know a team I've been paying attention to is UConn. And UConn is in a semi-bad conference in the Big East. It ain't the Big East that we grew up and loved with when they had St. John's and they had, you know what I'm saying, Pitt was in the Big East and Syracuse and Georgetown was good. You don't see them same teams, but what I'm seeing is that UConn is struggling with teams like Providence. They're struggling with these teams, but they're supposed to be the cream of the crop. It's starting to make me wonder. I know they're going to probably get a number 1 seed. I think they win this conference, but I'm really concerned about them when they get to the tournament because if you're struggling with teams like a Providence, I understand they know each other, but you should be blowing Providence out. You should be blowing Villanova out, Butler, Creighton, all these teams that shouldn't be in the Big East, and I'm not even used to them being in the Big East. UConn, I know y'all only got one loss in the season. I know y'all got a ton of fucking talent and y'all well coached. But come on, man. Why are y'all struggling with teams like Providence and Georgetown and Seton Hall? Come on, man. Come on, UConn. You should be dominating this league. You should be head and shoulders better than everybody. And that's not just by record, but actually playing on the court. That's my final take.
I agree, 100%.
Somebody's got to be the best of the worst.
But Mike, have y'all? He said Don Shula. He said Don Shula didn't vote for him.
Don Shula,
we know Don Shula didn't vote for him.
Don Shula didn't vote for the president. He didn't vote for nothing lately.
Look, if Don Shula votes, then
Don Shula Jr.
Right.
Man, what we talking about? I don't know.
He passed away.
Yeah, because if Don Shula votes, then we're either in heaven or we in hell. One of the two. If Don Shula casts a vote.
Yeah, Don Shula died 6 years ago.
But yeah, the thing, what I was saying about UConn, Mike, I've been watching a lot of college basketball. I'm actually about to go catch some of the games right now. A couple more games tonight. I think Texas Tech is about to play TCU. Oh no, Houston about to play TCU. I'm about to go watch that game. And it's so it's on the cot. Ain't nothing like it being on the cot. But the thing about it is, man, I like UConn. They're a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
But it should be no fucking way that you having a problem with Georgetown.
Them lottery picks ain't walking through that door from the last couple of years.
They got a lottery pick. They got Mullins as a lottery pick right now.
And Castles and them. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the competition is closing in on. I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
but all their games been close.
Like, if y'all get a chance, man,
I'm gonna check them out. Yeah,
check out UConn. They got a very good team. Don't get me wrong, and they well coached. But the Big East shouldn't be as competitive with UConn as they're making it out to be. They struggled against Villanova. They struggled against Seton Hall. They struggled against Georgetown. These are teams they should be blowing out. That's just me. But I get it. Hey, great show. I'm your host, Jody Coleman of Against the Grain Sports Podcast, Uncut. Man, we're here with Donald, the voice of the youth. We got Jarrell Solo on Sports, Glenn, all the way from San Antonio, Texas. Michael, the people's champ with his Batman. They called Jaylen Brown Batman. We got Ray Born and just a Barbara Lindsay. Andrew mic'd up. Jason the Hefty Lefty. And we couldn't do this at all without J. Kane, the chef, cooking it up in the kitchen. Mike, what we doing till tomorrow, man?
Hey, man, we working.
See y'all. Peace.